On Yak About Today in Tech, we have some news of interest, and I'll try to answer some questions if I know the answers to them. Hey, what's up, guys? I'm David-Yakir, and this is Yak About Today in Tech, where people of all ages can benefit from the technology around us. So listen up, because today we will indeed talk tech. And remember, if I can learn it, you can learn it. Hey, thanks for listening. I am David-Yakir, and you are listening to Yak About Today in Tech. And you know what I thought I'd do before we get into some tech news and some questions and answers? I want to talk about wogging. Now, for those of you who have been listening for the last couple of years, I started talking about wogging. And wogging to me is a walking jog, which means we walk very, very fast, or as fast as we can, and without running. So it has been 2 years now that I've been wogging. And for those of you who know Indian River County, I've been wogging on the beach. I've been wogging on the bridges. I've been wogging on the trails, and even wogging around the community I live in and the golf course. So I've been wogging, and generally I try to wog, or at least I started wogging about 6 days a week. And then I brought it down to about 3 or 4 days. And the reason I did that is as I'm aging, I don't really want to push the hips and the knees too far. So I've cut down on the wogging. But I wanted to give you some interesting statistics. So my weight is down about 20 pounds. I got off the Lipitor. My blood chemistry has improved. My pulmonary and heart functions have improved, and all that in a 70-year-old body. So, if I can do it, you can do it. So I had some thoughts. Now listen to me carefully. And if you got a little pen and paper, just keep it on the side. Well, you should keep it on the side when I'm on the air anyway, in case I give you some useful information, which may happen every couple of shows or so. So I had a thought that if you were in the Vero Beach and vicinity, why don't you come wogging with me? Because this show might rerun during the holidays. I have an idea that might work. I'll announce on my Twitter feed when I'm going to do the next WOG and where and when you can join me, or I've even got a better idea. If you write to me at david@yakabouttoday.com, david@yakabouttoday.com, I'll put together an email list and I'll send out the info when I think it's a great time for all of us to get together and WOG. And it doesn't have to be a fast walk that I built up to over the years. It can be, actually, depending on who I'm with and what your capability is walking. We can have a slow walk and chat, or we can walk a little faster, or, we'll do a fast chat along with a fast walk. So why not come WOG with me? Come WOG with me. Da, 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 da. Anyway.
Don't talk back.
So today in the Yak News. So I thought this is a good segment. Every once in a while I go through the papers and I'm reading about technology, and you know how it is. Something jumps out at you. And so I thought I'd do a news segment. So think about this. Headline: Texas lawyer trapped by cat filter on Zoom call informs judge he is not a cat. So, as you know, the coronavirus has prompted many computer mishaps as many of the world's workers adapt to working from home in the face of the pandemic. They have ranged from inadvertently hilarious to the career-ending situation. But lawyer Rod, I think you pronounce it Rod Ponton, he accidentally morphed into a wide-eyed baby cat. And as a result, he appears destined to achieve viral immortality. So, here it goes. Faced with hearing legal debate from the kitten's cute but worried face, Judge Roy Ferguson of the Texas 394th Judicial District told Ponton, "I believe you have a filter turned on in the video settings. You might want to," at which time he was cut off by Ponton the kitten, who interrupted in a panic drawl as this, "Can you hear me, Judge?" Ferguson, the judge, responds, "I can hear you, and I think it's a filter." "It is," the cat-faced Ponton responds, "and I don't know how to remove it. I've got my assistant here. She's trying to, but I'm prepared to go forward as a kitten. I'm live here. I'm not a cat." Ferguson deadpans, "I can see that." In a matter of good judges everywhere, Ferguson sought to use the example of human feline fallibility as a teaching moment. He tweeted, "If a child used your computer before you join a virtual hearing, check the Zoom video option to be sure filters are off." He then added, "These fun moments are a byproduct of the legal profession's dedication to ensuring that the justice system continues to function in these tough times. Everyone involved handled it with dignity, and the filtered lawyer showed incredible grace as a cat. True professionalism all around."
Don't talk back.
All right, headline from the Wrap. Robert Kennedy Jr. has his Instagram account removed. So, Instagram removed Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s account on Wednesday for sharing false claims about the coronavirus. And a spokesman for Facebook, which owns Instagram, confirmed the removal. And the Wrap, in a statement, said, "We removed this account for repeatedly sharing debunked claims about the coronavirus or vaccines." And earlier this week, the company announced it was expanding its efforts to remove false claims on Facebook and Instagram about the COVID-19 and its vaccines in general during the pandemic. Kennedy has over 800,000 followers on his Instagram account, and earlier this week, he reposted a video from a group called Planet Lockdown that has been banned by Facebook and YouTube. Kennedy, the son of the late U.S. Attorney General and the nephew of John F. Kennedy, is a lawyer who in recent years has become a notorious anti-vaxxer whose public views have put him at odds with his family members. In May 2019, in an article for Politico titled "RFK Jr. is Our Brother and Uncle, He's Tragically Wrong About Vaccines," and that was written by Kathleen Kennedy Townsend, Joseph P. Kennedy II, Maeve Kennedy McKean, RFK's sister, brother, and niece, all said the same. He has helped to spread this information over social media, and it's complicit in sowing distrust of the science behind vaccines.
Don't talk back.
So here's something I found, and it's only because people have been asking me about it. Toyota will introduce its first all-electric vehicles in the United States this year. And, of course, it's about time. The reason I bring up the article is because many people read about Tesla. And a lot of people tell me they're uncomfortable from buying from these new electric car companies. First of all, they can't afford it. And they're waiting for cars to come out at more reasonable prices. But they're waiting for Ford and General Motors and all that. So Toyota announced that it's putting out its first all-electric vehicles in the United States. So after years of course, resisting all-electric vehicles, they announced plans to debut its first mass-market all-electric vehicles later this year. Toyota, in a statement, said there'll be 3 models, and 2 will include battery-powered electric vehicles. Just so you know, they're starting to be called BEVs. That's a BEV. And, of course, 1 plug-in hybrid, which has a P in front of the HEV. So plug, hybrid, EV, right? The company, of course, Toyota, for most of you who don't know, is the world's top-selling automaker. And they touted, of course, the environmentally friendly impact of the new vehicles, citing that the fastest way to lower greenhouse gases in the transportation sector is to offer drivers lower carbon choices in their meat. Now, here's the thing. While Toyota has long been one of the global pioneers of hybrid vehicles, most notably, everybody knows the Prius, which I think debuted in Japan in 1997. It has long resisted going all electric, and this is an interesting piece of information. In their statement, the company defended its past decision to shy away from all electric, claiming that its internal research had initially found that the total greenhouse gas emissions of all electric and hybrid vehicles to be roughly the same when factoring in pollutants created by electricity production for the average U.S. energy grid used to charge batteries. And that's a question that people have asked, or discussions I've been in, saying, well, gas, if we can get gas cleaner, and they can filter out the emissions, what's the difference in the energy usage? Or if we plug in and use all the energy, from the electric companies. Well, the answer is that the switch to electric vehicles will have a significant impact on pollution. Hey folks, David here. As we age, taking care of our eyes becomes increasingly more important, and neglecting them can lead to some serious issues. I know because I've had some of those issues, and back then, several people recommended New Vision Eye Center, and quite frankly, I never looked back, pun intended. I was so impressed with Dr. Minotti, the care and the attention, and more importantly, how everything was explained to me in a way that I understood. And from that day on, there was no doubt that New Vision Eye Center would be the ones that I trust. I'm proud to have them as a sponsor of this show because I wouldn't trust my eyes to anyone else. And we are back. So, this is interesting. When I used to do the Yak About Tech show back, I think, in 2014, 2015, before we went through a series of format changes, everybody told me that their favorite segment was when I answered some questions. And I used to get dozens and dozens of questions. And back then, I would sort of answer the ones I knew and I thought could be helpful. But now, I think I'll make it a regular segment. I'll actually may have some questions that I'll get back to you on. But anyway, let me do this. Let me rumble through these papers, and also let me get my Twitter account and my email account up here. Just give me a second. I'm really doing well today. And I'll try to answer some questions. And if I can't, like I said, I'll research them and get answers and get back to you. So this one was in an email, and it's from an email from Karen. And, I have to actually switch my glasses to actually look at the computer screen here. Okay, so it's an email from Karen, and she says, I know I'm slow, but I can't for the life of me figure out how to make a conference call on my iPhone. This is one I think I know. So, Karen, first of all, you were not slow, and I really do get this question all the time. And when I explain it, you'll realize it's really not as complicated as you think. But it's the type of question that reminds me of years and years ago when people couldn't program the clock on their VCR. And if I was going to be totally honest, I had one of the earliest VCRs, and I was a tech geek, and I was making little YouTube things, I think, when YouTube